I have been listening to Shrek 1, 2, and 3 and 4 once or twice over and over by putting them on my phone or on my computer and not watching the screen because I've already seen the movie enough to know what's happening on screen, kind of. And I've been having these eye strain problems, but um, so I don't want to look at the screen too long. But just been listening to the Shrek movies over and over again. I've already made an audio about Shrek, um, and how it's just fantastic. It's an amazing Shrek 1 to 3 at least, and Shrek 4 isn't even bad either. Shrek Forever After, they're all they're great movies. Like Shrek 1 and 2 especially, um, just amazing movies, and they're mostly family friendly. They have this moral of, don't judge people by the way they look and, something like that. And, it's a fairy tale. It, it always ends in a good way. And it's just nice. It's nice to have something like that where nice things happen in the movie and it ends right, or as good as it can anyway. Something, a lot of modern television and movies and such, um, it's all horrible. Like, there's an obsession with horrible things happening, um, and it's really gross. Um, I mean, maybe I'm just not consuming um, enough new children's media, I suppose, uh, in my uh, in my 20s. Maybe I'm just not looking at enough new stuff. Actually, I wanted to talk about that because I have this sensation of being stuck in the past and just being behind everybody else because a lot of times, if I get into a video game or a movie or something, odds are it's going to be at least 5 years old, if not decades old, and I'm just late to the party. And I spend a lot of time with these things like Shrek that came out decades ago. Um, so I'm not present because I'm not paying attention to the media that's coming out right now, which most other people are. So, if somebody starts talking about, hey, have you seen this or that? Um, I just kind of go, no, I haven't, and then that's it. That's basically the conversation. And in my mind, there's a lot of older media. People even near my age, I could probably mention certain things to them, and they wouldn't know what I was talking about because there's certain things I really wouldn't know pretty much anything about unless if um, it had been introduced to me by somebody else. Like obscure television series that I still remember to this day, but you can't really find them anywhere, and nobody talks about them, and they were never really that popular in the first place. It's just interesting because it will put you. It's it's like when you're interested in these things, it's almost as distancing as if you physically moved away from people. That's how it will affect your social life if you have interests that other people don't have. It's it may be genuinely worse than physical distance because at least, you know, in the current age of the online world. If someone from the other side of Earth shares your interest, they can find you online, and you two can talk and have fun. Um, my best friend at the moment uh, doesn't even live in the country that I live in. And that's just, I mean, that's awesome. Um, I'm really glad. I think I may have mentioned, uh, yeah, in a community post, I think I mentioned her. I'm just so grateful to have um, her friendship because she is a mature and kind and intelligent person, and we have similar interests. And I mean, what more could you ask for? Um, and I really don't know what I would have done for, I mean, for a long time now without her company because, you know, I don't, I haven't connected well with people so far at my job. I'm trying to change my mindset to be a bit more, um, not necessarily that I have to be more outgoing, but it occurred to me that I I have a very negative view of strangers. Some people have a more positive view of strangers because they will view others as potential friends. Whereas if I don't know somebody, I basically don't regard them at all. Um, unless if I have some reason to, um, like I'm involved with them, if I'm involved on the same task with them, or if they're an attractive girl, I suppose in that case I will. Um, but even then, I don't really. Um, People are kind of background characters to me, and part of it is reasonable because of who I am and who other people are. Deep connections really aren't possible with most people. But I do think that I should change my mindset so that I can view people um, as something closer to potential friends rather than just being people that I have nothing to do with. And I mean, what else is there to life if you're not um, interacting with others, to be honest? Like on some level, if you're not in the presence of others, if you're not influencing them and hopefully leading them to Christ, like even just by your presence, because Jesus said, um, you know, it something about it like a parable. Um, Nobody lights a lamp and then hides it under a basket, but they put it on a stand so everyone can see it. And he said, "Let your light shine before men so that they can glorify your Father in heaven." So being observed as a child of God is important. And it's not a prideful thing, or it's not supposed to be anyway. But because it's not about you, but it is about the Father. Anyway, so I'm just kind of here this Sunday afternoon, and I'm probably going to play a game with my friend again later. And I've really been enjoying being at work recently, actually, because of the ladies at work, and just interacting with them and having fun. And I think that, the job I work is nothing special. Basically, anybody could start to work where I work at, and there's lots of different people. But I say it's nothing special, but the thing is, sometimes it occurs to me, if I didn't work where I worked on this specific shift that I work, the people that I know that I'm with 5 days a week for all those hours, I basically would have never met these people. And if I had ever met them, like, I don't know, if we were in line at the DMV or something, like, it almost wouldn't matter. But there's something special about being in somebody's company and being in somebody's life because, it was possible that I was pretty close to not even living in this state. So, in a way, it's a privilege to know anybody. If you're in one place, then you know those people, and you're not going to have access to people that live somewhere else. It's just it's a special thing to to be in somebody's life and to know somebody and of somebody. So I mean, I say it's nothing special, but really it is. And it's interesting to watch people when they form relationships in a workplace like this, friendships and relationships. I mean, I don't mean I don't when I say relationships, I never necessarily just mean romantic relationships, but there's also that. I just mean, people relating to each other, friendships, that sort of thing. Um, but people form these bonds, and they get like this familial attitude with each other, and it's really interesting to watch. Um, and it's kind of special. It's just I haven't had the privilege of being part of it as much just because of my personality in relation to others, but it's interesting to watch, and I do like the camaraderie of working with people that I know. Um, it's cool. I guess this audio ended up being a bit more positive than I thought it was going to be because I was going to talk about, I mean, I was just intending to talk about feeling stuck in the past and separated from people in that way, and that's still true, but I ended up talking about friendship and camaraderie and the workplace family, so to speak, and everything. And don't get me wrong, humans are still humans, and you shouldn't trust people too much or expect them to view things the same way you view them. And you should be wary of betrayal because it can happen. But still, it's very cool that humans can like each other this much, I guess. Like, for example, there was somebody who had left the job several months ago, and they just recently returned, and a bunch of people, including myself, were happy to see them, and it was just neat. Um, Maybe I guess I was thinking about my family earlier, like my actual blood family, and I've pretty much never felt like that about people in my blood family. So it's possible I'm just lacking something major and I'm only seeing it, and that's why I'm kind of talking about this as if it's something amazing, but maybe it doesn't sound as amazing to someone listening. But I really like it. Um, I think it's special.